This episode of the Lonely Island podcast is brought to you by our friends at Maker's Mark. We are celebrating Women's History Month by recognizing the spirited women in our lives and remembering Maker's Mark co-founder Margie Samuels. You too can celebrate the spirited women in your life with a free personalized label to go with a bottle of Maker's Mark. Head to makersmarkpersonalize.com and fill in the details in order to create and mail your custom label. Maker's Mark makes their bourbon carefully. Please enjoy it that way. Maker's Mark, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 45% alcohol per volume. Copyright 2025, Maker's Mark Distillery, Incorporated, Loretto, Kentucky.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We just got off to the best start, and we had to stop Yorm because we thought everybody here should hear it as well.
I'm doing great. You guys, the last couple of weeks, I've been really on fire, you know?
You have been red hot.
Yeah, my version of red hot, yeah.
No, genuinely. I feel as though you've been the glue guy the last couple episodes, Yorm.
Thanks, Seth.
But then you are a collector of people, Yorm.
That's true.
But the people you collect are like Mad Lib entries.
I was telling these guys before we started this podcast that I have some Finnish friends staying with me. For lack of a better term, he's sort of a shaman,
right,
and she's a clairvoyant, but they do body work, and I'm kind of running a spa out of my house.
Gotcha. So you directed a film in
Yes.
the great nation of Finland. You
Correct.
had enough time while you're doing this to befriend a shaman and his clairvoyant wife.
Yes.
And now it sounds as though you're running an illegal spa out of your home.
There's no money exchanging hands, I assume.
No,
Or is there?
I'm losing money, if anything. I've been paying for people's sessions.
Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast.
Hey, fellas.
Hi.
What up? We're going to talk about two episodes. One episode has two shorts, but there's an episode with no shorts I want to talk about as well. But just a little bit of housekeeping off the top.
Hit us.
From the comments, people were very excited about the mention of the Phoenix Theater in Ross Trent.
Oh, was that the name of the theater?
Oh, in Petaluma?
Yeah, in Petaluma. Everybody was
Petaluma.
sort of shouting out in the comics, oh my God, the Phoenix. I love that place. I can't believe they mentioned it. So,
Oh, awesome.
That's cool.
Nice.
one of our friends released an album this week.
Oh,
And I feel like we should give a quick shout out to Kyle Mooney.
I was just listening to it again.
It's so wonderful.
Put down your phone.
Put down your phone. What is the name of that
Turn
song?
off the TV.
Digital world.
We're living in a digital society.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Mooney, I highly recommend first going to watch a YouTube video, which is basically a release video talking about the release of his album. The album is called The Real Me.
Yeah, it's dry as a bone.
Dry as a bone. So really, the cover is great. It does look like a singer-songwriter album from the 70s. It's a beautifully taken photograph.
Yeah, it's a nice cover for sure.
My favorite thing about the release video is he's talking about he finally gets to show the real him, and then he keeps having, you hear his side of a conversation where it seems like maybe his manager is angrily calling and saying, you can't let people see the real you. And it's a delight. Somebody asked why Single Ladies isn't online, and it is music clearance.
Oh, I didn't know it wasn't.
I didn't actually double check this person's work, but I assume our listeners are good enough at Googling.
How can they not get it cleared? I feel like they know the lady who would be responsible for that, you know?
Yeah. And then somebody wrote this comment, which I just enjoyed the wording. Excuse Seth. I had to stop the episode to comment and say that you were a turbo white bald head for not thinking Ross Trent was Criterion.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very well phrased, in my opinion.
Yeah, very well phrased.
Seth, by the way, your shirt is on the way. I designed it. It's coming.
Oh, great. I mean, that would be a real your move to actually make the shirt.
Yeah.
I do fully believe you.
Seth, I saw one on the YouTube, and then you continue, which was somebody commented, Quades is the collective name for fans of the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast.
Oh.
So are Quades our little monsters?
Whoa. I would be down with that, for the record.
Speaking of Quades, there was a very long comment from a gentleman who asked if we could give a shout out for his daughter's birthday in a future podcast. Her name is Susie, and then her dad, whose name is Gabe, wrote a long email about, and again, who knows if this is true or not, but it does seem like they're big fans of The Lonely Island. And he did say, for her birthday, I got her and myself matching shirts with Andy's face from the famous SNL skit, Quado, with the caption, hey, Quade, got any smints?
Oh, my God.
If you were walking down the street, Andy, and saw a father-daughter wearing T-shirts that said, hey, Quade, got any smints, would you?
I would drop to my knees and bow to them. and praise the heavens for their existence. How fucking wonderful. That's incredible.
All right, so this is just some comments.
We should say happy birthday, shouldn't we?
Yeah, happy birthday to Susie.
Yeah, Susie, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Quaid.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being part of Quaid Army. That's what Keith wants.
Excellent.
Quaid Army.
Yeah, Quaid Army. That's awesome.
I mean, righteous kill. Righteous kill on Quaid Army.
Oh, righteous kill.
Oh, my God.
To all my Quaids out there, righteous kill.
Yeah, if you see another member of Quaid Army out there, you give him a righteous kill.
All right.
Oh, wait. We did find the missing scene from Everyone Loves a Critic.
We did. Do you guys want to talk about what it is?
Sure. It was that we go to talk to Casey Wilson's interview character, but we don't pull the painting out there.
Right.
She says something that then leads us to pull out again. And Will Forte is a college professor teaching a film class, right?
Yeah, on meta.
Yeah.
On like meta cinema.
On being meta.
Yeah, on being meta. I do think, you don't think that the painting got pulled out? I thought the painting got pulled out on Casey, and as she's melting...
But we didn't see it.
Oh.
We saw the back of it. We saw her reaction to the painting. But in the Will one, you actually saw the painting.
Okay, class. So that was a clip from Andy Samberg and Paul Rudd's experimental film, Everyone's a Critic, or Are They?
Oh, it gets longer titles as it goes.
So it pulls out of a TV, and yeah, we don't show Casey the painting. And then Forte says it's a special treat. I got the writer-directors, Andy Samberg and Paul Rudd, and we come in. I mean, do you want me to just play it? Could you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, play
we
it.
can hear it. Yeah.
Now, as a special treat, here to talk about their film, please help me in welcoming Andy Samberg and Paul Rudd.
Hey. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a really fun ride.
Yeah, we've just been traveling around and talking about our hit short film, but today we brought along something really special.
That's right, we did. You may remember the painting from the film. Well, here it is. It happens here.
I don't know. Might have been over it.
Barf. Guy blows his own brains out. More barf. Keenan's drinking glass cleaner. Forte puts a shotgun in his mouth. We get blood sprayed on us again.
Oh, good.
And we're super bummed looking. And then it cuts.
That might be the funniest way to experience it.
Oh, I also like that the audio is looping. The screams are
Yeah.
looping.
Well, we hadn't perfected it yet because we decided to cut bait on it, so we never smoothed it out.
My favorite sound design is the clapping when you guys come in.
They're so unenthused.
Just like a classroom clapping.
They could care less.
That's real. I mean,
But it's you got a perfect direction there. So Andy, should you have kept it in or was it a good cut?
I think it was actually a good cut in seeing this. And the reason was the moment when it cuts away from Casey interviewing us is not funny enough. There's no joke.
Right.
So it's just dragging it out. If we had it happen in the Casey one and then we pulled out of that and then we did it again in the classroom, that might have worked. The other thing, do we want to talk about what the painting actually was?
Yes.
Have we ever said?
Don't leave people guessing.
I don't know that it can ever live up. I mean, the reason no one knows is it can't live up to it.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but I want to know because I forgot.
But do you have a picture of it though, Andy, so we can describe it? Because I remember the basics. Was he? I mean, I'm just going to blurt something out. Hitler surfing, and he's talking, and he's saying, "Me so horny, like miso soup."
So it's one of Mia Rudd's bodies on the couch. So it looks like it's actually a painting of the couch and the posing naked. But the head is Hitler. The fingers are hot dogs.
That's right.
Hot dog fingers, predating everything, everywhere,
Yes.
all at once by decade.
By a long, long while.
But it was from that universe, from the hot dog finger universe.
I would just say it's from the same universe. There's no way they could have known.
no,
Because we never told and we never
it
showed.
exists. It was from that timeline. Go ahead.
Correct. And Hitler is saying in a dialogue bubble, "Me so horny."
As in miso soup.
Miso soup, horny.
It's spelled M-I-S-O?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a restaurant we went to in Vancouver when we were shooting Hot Rod that their catchphrase was "Me so horny," M-I-S-O.
Oh my God.
And they had all these famous figures from history saying "Me so horny" like on the wall.
This is a real question. Do you guys ever think he actually said that in real life?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you think Hitler ever said "Me so horny," but he was talking about miso as in miso soup?
Weigh in the comments.
Hey, Quaid Army.
Quaid Army, what do you think? Did Hitler ever say miso horny spelled M-I-S-O?
I I think the waiter that night ran into the kitchen. It was like the Quaid Army's here. And just FYI, they have definitely noticed the historical figure saying "Me So Horny," and I bet it's going to turn up in one of their shorts. Hey, this is just a tie-in, and I kind of feel like I should have started with this. I went day drinking with Paul Rudd yesterday.
Oh, fun.
Oh.
How'd it go?
I'm so hungover.
Oh,
You don't seem it at all.
I think we gave him the painting. For the record, I think Paul has that painting somewhere, like in a closet, and doesn't know what to do with it.
Oh, yeah, we should get a voice note maybe.
Yeah.
He's got like a cool bar he told me about. I think it should be up in
Oh, yeah,
that. If
upstage.
you guys know Paul, definitely encourage him to put that painting up, put it in the bar. People are going to love it.
I've been to the Paul Rudd bar.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would remember if I saw.
Did you go to the bathroom in there? It could have been in the bathroom.
I did go in the bathroom.
You didn't see it in there?
Number 1 or number 2?
Yeah, you might have been facing the wrong way.
Yeah. Maybe it was right behind you.
How many times in your life, Andy, or what percentage of the time when people say I went to the bathroom, do you feel you say number 1 or number 2? Do you feel like it's 95% or higher?
No, I was going to say nothing crazy. Probably just like 75%.
I think that's probably right.
A clean 3 out of 4 makes sense.
Yeah. Depends if we're in mixed company, people that I don't know very well, that I would definitely ask them as an icebreaker.
Yeah. Oh, so people you don't know well, there's a higher likelihood you would say.
Yes.
Yeah. Classic misdirect.
You might slow down with people who've said it to you so many times it feels hackneyed.
Exactly.
Right.
Seth, maybe ask Rudd if he wants to send a voice note addressing A, if he still has the painting, B, if he does, where it is, and C, how he feels about Yorm telling everyone he has a bar in his house.
Okay, great.
I think he's talked about it in interviews, but let's let him
That's
answer.
why I want to ask Akiva.
All right, okay.
Sorry, dude. Fuck. Shit.
This guy's crazy.
All right, so we just loop back to Everyone's a Critic. We do have a Jon Hamm voice note. We asked for Jon to record a voice note.
Oh,
And let me add, he's coming back to host.
yes.
Yes, SNL, not this.
How many times is that?
This will be his 4th time. He did 3 in 3 years, and it's been a real gap. And it's very exciting that he's back. He was one of the best to ever do it. I think we established that last week. And it's Jon Hamm and Lizzo. So you can't ask for much more than that.
Wow.
Let's hear his note.
Hi guys, Jon Hamm here. Long-time listener, first-time voice noter. Super fun reliving the first time I hosted, all the insanity that happened. Amy having her baby, special guests, different things between Dress and Air. You guys were saying I was doing JFK at Dress. I actually was doing Dean Martin at Dress.
Oh, Seth fucked up.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'll own it.
Which then turned into James Mason for the Vincent Price show. I'm reminded how much fun I had on that show doing not only the Trick or Treat sketch with Forte, but Jon Hamm's Jon Hamm and the Vincent Price show, and working with everybody in what is, in fact, I think we can all agree, an golden era.
Thank you.
So much fun. You guys, this whole thing, this whole journey with you has been incredibly fun, and I can't wait to continue the journey. I loved Roz Trent, and I was happy that I got to not be in that one so I could be in a little one, I believe that was called The Curse. To be continued.
Be very excited when that shows up. Only problem with that very sweet message is what we asked Jon is, did you remember that Andy had a shitty costume for the Mad Men thing? And did you remember that Akiva didn't show up? So we will be needing a second voice note.
That'll be a follow-up, Hammer.
Don't just
Disrespect.
freestyle. We asked you questions.
John, we'd like you to record it the week of your show when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
So you got the adrenaline pumping.
Between Dress and Air, please.
Yeah. Preferably between Dress and Air. That's Akiva saying that, and I back him up, though,
Yeah.
fully. He's my friend. I support him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then if you could also, with your phone, get a voice note from Lauren asking if he knows that this is a podcast.
Another one, really.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm so happy he's coming back to host. You know who else is coming back to host?
Whom?
An equally long break, Jack Black.
I know, Jack.
Oh, that's fucking killer.
That's great.
I am excited.
Awesome.
It's just like an 18-year break or something crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim McGraw, Ludacris, and T-Pain.
Mm.
And then we're going to get to the Malkovich episode, which has 2 shorts. But
Tim McGraw. There was a Blizzard Man.
Blizz showed up.
Yeah.
We didn't do any shorts? Is that right?
Yeah, there was nothing. There was no short. T-Pain was in Blizzard Man.
Was he?
Who was the musical guest?
So the musical guest was Ludacris and T-Pain.
Got it.
It was like Ludacris and then T-Pain joined on one song, or they did both songs?
First song was definitely both, and I can't remember the second. But the thrust of this Blizzard Man is that T-Pain is finding out he's being replaced by Blizzard Man.
Yeah, about that. I decided to replace you on the song.
Replace me?
Yeah.
T-Pain?
Yes.
With who?
The Blizzard Man.
The Blizzard Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Blizzard Man. Yeah, I heard he ripped it at Commons last show.
Yep.
I ain't never heard of him.
Ha! Well, get ready, because you about to right now. That's him.
Blizzy B!
Yo, what up? What up, boy? What's going on, man? Blizzy B, T-Pain, Blizzy B.
What it do?
What did it do?
Is it the first Blizzard Man? Is it the first Blizzard Man?
Wait, is it the first Blizzard Man?
No,
It
we
can't
wouldn't
be.
have done.
No, it wasn't the first Blizzard Man because Tim McGraw joins as your manager, and I feel like it feels very much like a second one.
Was the first one with Ludacris also, though?
I think it maybe
Yes.
was, yeah.
That's probably why we brought it back.
When he hosted in 2006.
That's why I got confused.
Yeah, some of these lyrics are pretty good. I'm jumping ahead now.
I mean, I really like the second Blizz.
Chris Blizzard Man, way better than T-Pain. Check my style out. We're at the strip club spending cash, 1s and 5s and even 2s. We make it rain cause it's a song, and I throw a silver dollar and a lady gets hurt. Yo, stop snitching.
And a lady gets hurt.
Yo, stop snitching.
That was when Stop Snitching was a new thing.
Yeah.
Well, newish to the pop culture world. Yeah, no Matt Murray on this one because he had moved on, so it was just us three Lonely Island boys.
You don't think he sent in some jokes from afar? He must have. I feel like you always texted him when we were doing one.
We always would, yeah, but didn't give him writing credit, apparently.
There's a thing about Blizz that I want to give him credit for because he, later in the song, I dig smooching babes, I squeeze their butts. And, you know, that's a little problematic, except his very next line, if they give their consent.
Yeah. We drink lots of codeine and sit around.
That was my favorite.
A jam comes on and we all do the crump.
The crump. Wow.
There's a certain something here.
This episode of the Lonely Island Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Maker's Mark. And I'm with some of my friends right now. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. You know, Margie Samuels was a spirited woman. She was also the co-founder of Maker's Mark. I don't have to tell you guys this stuff.
No.
No, we'd know it, but our listeners might not, so continue.
All right. Well, in honor of Women's History Month, we wanted to toast some of the spirited women in our lives.
That was my idea, actually. These guys were thinking about not doing it, and I was like, we should.
Yeah. You are in many ways as trailblazing as Margie Samuels Yorm, and I often said that.
Well, I kept saying, I want to mark this day with Maker's Mark. And you guys kept saying, what does that mean? I was like, it means a toast, guys.
Way to land the plane, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, Seth.
I want to tell a story about a spirited woman I saw during the 50th. And I was a little bit lucky because I was there on Friday for some rehearsal action. And I got to watch the Close Encounters rehearsal with Kate McKinnon. And I feel it's the most I've ever watched an actor's process. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. You too can celebrate the spirit of women in your life with a free personalized label to go with the bottle of Maker's Mark. Head to makersmarkpersonalized.com and fill in the details in order to create and mail your custom label. Don't forget to grab a bottle of Maker's Mark to go with it.
Maker's Mark makes their bourbon carefully. Please enjoy it that way. Maker's Mark, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 45% alcohol per volume. Copyright 2025, Maker's Mark Distillery, Incorporated, Loretto, Kentucky.
Support for the Lonely Island Podcast comes from Cremo. You guys, I would love to tell you the other three podcast hosts of this show are with us right now, but they're at the gym, and they're always hitting the gym. But the problem is, this is their words to me. Managing the sweat and odor has been a challenge for them, which is why I suggested Cremo, because they deserve freedom from sweat and stink. Sweat in the case of Andy and Yorma, stink in the case of Akivo. Cremo's deodorant is designed to provide men with 48-hour odor protection. Cremo products are all barber grade and made with pride, professionalism, and passion to guarantee you quality without compromise. And again, the dudes would love to be here sharing this information with you as well, but they are at the gym. That's where they go when the podcast is over. You know, those guys, as we've talked about their songs, they have incredibly high standards, and they share that with Cremo because they have high standard for their grooming products, which is why it's a great match for Keeve, Andy, and Yorm. I use Cremo, but I don't need to because I am odorless. And again, I don't want to brag about, but Cremo also offers a wide range of other grooming products for men, including shave cream, beard oil, and shampoos, so you can find your favorite scent and buy the whole body care line. Head to Target or Target.com to find Cremo's new line of antiperspirants and deodorants in the Italian bergamot and Palo Santo scents. Once again, that's Target or Target.com. Hey, there were just a couple sketches I wanted to mention that I completely forgot about. One is called Clear Rite, and it's Wig doing a commercial for basically like a invisible retainer that you can't see. And she's talking about how great it is, but you can definitely see it. And she has to keep stopping while she's talking just to like either keep it in her mouth or just swallow the saliva that's building up. And it's a real tour de force-y Wig performance. And it's also so great because I feel as though it would be a pre-tape today, and the fact that it's live makes it just a delight because she has the audience completely on a string, and she is taking longer and longer each time she has to pause mid-sentence to sort of manage her mouth.
I'm like you. I want beautiful straight teeth, but I don't want metal in my mouth for everyone to see, or those so-called clear braces that are... totally noticeable. Hey, here comes my friend Tyler, who recently got those invisible braces.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Tyler. How are you liking those clear braces?
Oh, what a waste of money. Everyone notices them right away.
I see what you mean. You should have gotten clear.
It's a great sketch.
I do remember that performance, yes.
And then Tim McGraw comes out at the end, and she's definitely hallucinating the commercial.
Clear Rite. Order now.
Let's stop it.
It's Karen. Call your number on the screen.
There's no number down there.
Is it bad that I see one?
It's not good.
It sounds great, but I feel a little like one of our listeners who just goes, I guess I got to Google that.
You got to Google Clear Rite. And then Dateline. Dateline was hater as Keith Morrison. Just always great.
Sarah Halleman's boyfriend was into drugs and getting mixed up with some gangbangers. But one night, he just didn't come home.
I looked for him for weeks and weeks. Finally, the police called me and they found his car.
And what did they find when they opened up the trunk of that car?
It was my boyfriend's body.
Oh, my. Was he all right?
I feel like that was a very fun impression that was right up Bill's alley.
Yes.
And then another crazy thing in this sketch, we obviously talked about Jeff Montgomery and the Halloween show, the Jon Hamm Halloween show, and what a great episode that was and what a perfect sketch it is. Only a couple episodes later, Jeff Montgomery is back in Trick or Turkey.
Oh.
And now it has immediately abandoned the perfect premise of a sex offender dressing like a sex offender for Halloween. And now it's just a crazy sketch where Forte is at somebody's Thanksgiving table.
He's actually invited. He's invited into the room.
He's not invited. It turns out, like, very quickly, nobody knows why he's there. And it's a lot of like, hey, who knows how people get to Thanksgiving dinner?
You know, it's about giving thanks. And I would like to thank you for inviting me into your home.
See, now that's the thing, because I don't think anyone here invited you. So I'm still unclear of how you got in here.
Oh, come on, Bob. I mean, how did any of us get in here?
Door.
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 Window. See, we're all in the same boat here.
The end of this sketch is that he ate the family dog. It does not play in the same way that the first one played.
But it aired.
It aired.
That's all that matters. Ask anyone who works there. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Did it air? All right. So now we're moving on. Tim McGraw also, what a delightful person to be around. Okay, guys. It's the Malkovich show. And it's what a pairing of digital shorts. We have Virgania Horsen's Pony Express. And we have Jizz in My Pants. Which one aired first?
Virgania Horsen.
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
And now, is the reason that Jizz in My Pants is so dirty?
Yeah, so Jizz in My Pants, if we're going to jump right to the censorship issue, we assumed it couldn't air. And we made a whole other clean version that I believe is on Spotify and Apple and everywhere, where it's Andy and Yorm making like orgasm-y weird sounds, like, and I, in my pants.
I will say, I didn't think we should air it with the word jizz. I was like a little bit like, there's still potentially kids watching this show. And I was like, we definitely can't. And then two, I thought that the censored version might have been funnier. I don't know how you guys felt, but it was pretty funny.
I like the original, but then I like the censored as a second thing that you do. Oh my God, the dog. You guys can't hear it, but it's happening. But I feel like I would never want someone to hear the censored one if they're first hearing of Jizz In My Pants.
Sure. And do you want to explain why we were somehow allowed to actually air the nonsense?
Well, it was crazy because I remember, this is jumping right to the end of the process. It was like Friday night and we had got a good cut going and we were like, wanted to flag it ahead of time so we knew what was going on. And so we had asked Lauren to watch it way earlier than he would ever watch any other short, to be like, we made a thing. It has Yorma in it, number one, because we knew we were supposed to be cast. And we did it with our label. So it cost money, but not to SNL, which was also new.
And it looks great.
It had not spent one penny. It was record label money. So we had not had to ask permission to have it be Yorm and Andy. We had just made it, and it was going to come out the way music videos come out, with or without SNL. But of course, we wanted it to air on SNL. And so we just presented it to Lauren, like, look at this polished, cool new thing we made that has Justin Timberlake in a cameo as well, by the way. And do you want to air it? We're making a clean version. And he was like, yeah, I want to air it. And it can air like that. It doesn't need to be a clean version. That's fine. Jizz is fine. And we were like, what is it? To me, it was a dirtier word than dick.
Almost any word that's on the show.
Yeah. And it went all the way to Jeff Zucker, who was running NBC at the time, and he had to watch it. And he said it's okay as long as it's after 12:30. And that is why it aired so late.
Didn't he happen to be in town too that day? Like, I feel like he was in New York.
Was he at the show?
Yeah, I feel like I remember, because I remember Betsy Torres, our lovely censor, being like, absolutely not. And we were like, we sort of agree with you.
Well, the plan was we wanted to see how it played. We were like, we've got this video. It probably can't air, but we'd love to put it up in front of the audience, or at least that's what we said to Lauren, right? And we were like, and maybe he'll be like, it played really great and I will air it. But we were like, if they say no way, we'll understand why. So we did it at Dress, and he was like, I want to air it because it played well. And then Jeff Zucker came down to watch it, and he ultimately made the call, right?
Something like that.
That's how I remember, yeah.
Yeah. We might not have even had the clean one quite done. We might have been like, and if it's not airable, we're going to work on a clean one for next week.
Right, something like that.
Now, what are the odds, when you guys walked out of the room, what are the odds that Lauren and Jeff had this conversation? Jizz means piss, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I don't know why they're so worried about it.
We did hear that from multiple parents. Is that what you were about to say, Keith? Because I remember distinctly people being like, my kid thought it was piss, and then I had to back it all the way up and explain sex and everything to them, and then get to, and then this joke.
You don't have to. You can just let them think it's piss.
That's a weird choice. You don't have to do that.
I think the kid was the right age. So you're like, let me go.
It was a useful teaching tool.
Yeah, it was educational.
For the birds and the bees.
The Birds and the Bees. This was also in your sex ed album called The Birds and the Bees. You guys repurposed this for that.
Oh, that's a great title.
Wait, when did we actually make this? Keith and Andy, like, what it must have been an off week, right?
It was the week before.
The week before.
Yeah. And we shot it in New York. I mean, we should talk a little bit about the production, because it was unprecedented for us at that time, which Keith already mentioned. We did it on record label money, but because we did it that way, we had a lot of time to plan. And there was like an outside DP who came in, and we were going much bigger than we had gone on any other video before.
Yeah. It was the first music video DP from that world where we had a production company that only does high-end music videos and commercials. And I had done those We Are Scientists music videos and the Eagles of Death Metal one. So I had been in that world before.
Yes.
It was not the first time knowing how that operates, but it's just getting an entire crew. It was like having the crew of SNL, but they're all just to make your short, as opposed to us operating on the fringes of something. Everyone just showed up to a job, and the job was make this music video. So the focus we got out of everybody was incredible. And they're used to operating and doing things and trying to make them as, MTV ready as possible. So their default mode was a very cool mode.
Yes.
And it felt great to be in it.
And we rented out a nightclub and had dope lasers and just treated it like it was for MTV instead of something we were throwing together in 48 hours. And it had long lead time, had a long time to edit, all of the things you would want in the real world.
Do you remember, was it a 1 day or 2 day shoot? It might have still been a very long 1 day.
It was like a 1.5 day, I think. Like we actually had money for the first time, which was amazing and everything that everybody said. But we were still like borrowing the Mercedes from a friend. And like, I mean,
for music videos, it was scrappy, but for us, it was the opposite.
Yes.
I feel like that's every music video, though.
That's funny. I would not know that, Andy. Do you think that's true, that even the glossy videos we see, someone had to borrow a car?
I mean, that's why there's so much fucking product placement in all of them for the last 10 years, right?
Right.
It's impossible.
We did, though, we had these, I don't know what you'd call them, but music video producers that were used to having to deal with big rock stars and having to throw things together. These guys, was it Jonathan Leah and Robert Smythe, right?
Yeah, Rob, who we still work with a lot.
Who did a lot of our other videos later. But I remember them having like 10 grand in hundreds in their pocket because that's how you get things greased.
Well, you're talking about greasing palms.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my day just got way better.
No, you're steady, baby.
That's who needed to get on here about how you grease a palm.
Andy just threw his phone, mid-spelling bee, Andy just threw his phone over his shoulder.
Seth, you know I got Queen Bee hours ago, you bitch. Fucking clean, too, unlike you, who didn't specify, meaning you used hints.
Hey, can I ask, just because I think it's a fun one, and I'll maybe give Keeve control. Can we watch it all together? And Keeve, maybe you stop and start as we go?
Yep.
Sure.
I have not. I don't know. Did any of you guys rewatch it?
I didn't.
No.
I rewatched it, and let me just say, because this is not a visual medium, Andy and Yorm both look handsome.
What?
In a way that would be problematic when I got my memento tattoo.
Andy's still the handsome one to me.
You're both really handsome.
He always will be.
I'm always going to be the handsome one to Yorm because that's his mnemonic device.
People are very happy about the mnemonic device.
Seth has teeth.
A lot of people have just been writing, even on my regular show comment section, people just write Seth has teeth now.
Sorry.
I feel like if graffiti came back and I was like tagging subway cars, that would be my tag now. Seth has teeth.
It's long. You run the risk of getting caught, but I think worth it.
I think worth it. So we're going to do a watch together. But first, give me your inspiration for your look and your sound.
Well, we could talk about the writing and recording part. We skipped over it, right?
All right. We skipped it.
Yeah.
Great.
This was back in Encino when we were making Incredibad. I will take full cred for the concept.
Oh, yeah. Full cred had been given without you.
Yeah. It was one of those days where I was sort of locked in the studio alone listening to beats, and the beat really, in this case, as it often does, led me to the idea where it's this like tense club jam, and then on the chorus, it's just this big give. Like it just feels like it goes like
release.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, well, I know what this could be about. So, Yorm, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I was in there and I wrote the first verse and chorus, and then I was like, Keeve was not there that day for some reason, and I was like, hey, come in here.
No, we definitely were writing together, like verses, because I remember we like split apart and wrote our verses separately at the same time. Because also we had made some other fucking early Lonely Island song where I had been doing a British version, because I'm like I spent some time in England, guys. I'm real Anglophile, and like, but I did something, and we had liked that tone of the like sexy British guy who's talking about the like. And then we're both together writing in that style.
Yeah, it was the Jam's on. Your Jimmy Jam song.
Yeah.
It's your time to get your Jimmy Jam on.
Yes, that one.
Hey, Jimmy. No, it's Jimmy Jam. Time to slam bam. It's a Jimmy Jam.
What was that one from?
What song was it? I can't remember. That was my verse from whatever song it was.
I think it was Take Your Shoes Off in My Spaceship.
Oh, God, that one.
It's an unpublished song.
Yeah.
How about taking your shoes off in my spaceship?
We still say it to each other.
And the people say, please don't erase it.
Put your gum back in the basement.
Yeah. But so for some reason we were doing that like Britty. Everyone said Jizz In My Pants we were doing Pet Shop Boys, but in my mind we were doing more like Tricky.
Yeah.
Was it also like The Streets was popular at the time?
The Streets was popular with you.
Yeah. That's
you kept trying to get us up on The Streets. Yeah. And you loved The Streets.
That's the name of a band.
I love The Streets too. This is a case where I'm not well, no, I don't think liking The Streets doesn't make you a turbo white.
No.
Might actually make you
Streets is great.
Super turbo white.
Just makes you a British turbo white.
Yeah.
I think it's a hybrid of what we're both saying, Yorm. I think I wrote the first verse and chorus and said, come in here. It's like that vibe we were doing. And then we wrote the rest of it. And you wrote your verse, and I remember being very happy.
I remember coming in, and I think your first verse was basically done, Andy, and then Yorm's was maybe halfway, and then I started pitching on it and helped with jokes, and then helped with the whole everything after that, which was all the quick back and forths, and then especially the I jizz right in my pants every time you're next. I remember me and Andy doing that part.
And stacking vocals and being like, whoa, we're doing the thing.
We're trying to do the Timberlake thing.
Yes.
Yes.
We may have said this already, this sort of thing, but we do tend to purposely write very visually and think of like locations as we're writing. So like all of those things were very purposely thought out, even in the like back half of the song of like, I'm over here now, I'm over here. Like I'm in a movie, I'm in a car, I'm in a, like.
And how quickly did you guys come up with the idea that basically each verse would get shorter due to the fact that the releases were coming?
As it gets more and more premature?
Yeah.
I would assume something Keith brought up or we all just felt, because you know it's coming more and more each time, so you have to up the ante a little bit and not waste people's time. As a rule, is what we try.
Yeah, the dumber the joke, the faster you tell it. This is a real rule of thumb.
I don't know if I always agree with that.
Huh?
Sometimes the dumbest joke you really want to luxuriate in.
You want to, yeah, either that or just like zit in it.
Just don't do medium. Never do medium.
Never do medium.
No, yeah, that's the lesson we learned on Wish It Would Rain. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Stop teasing it.
Yeah.
And now...
Jizz in my pants.
Yeah, so let's watch... Keith, take over. Let's watch this bad boy.
All right.
You guys are so handsome.
Oh, man, immediately handsome.
It is. You guys are immediately handsome. This is not a bit. They're immediately handsome.
I do not like my hair in it. I'll just say that.
Your hair is not as
Your
good.
wig.
I look a little like strokesy or something. Beatles, yeah.
You look as though you have had a stroke.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sure.
There's something funny, like in I Ran So Far, where when you dress like people who are dressing to dress handsome, then you do kind of end up looking a little handsome.
Yeah.
We do look like two European DJs to me.
The way we would all never dress, because it's the way that we think is embarrassing, because it's guys being like, aren't I handsome? Like a big scarf around your neck. But then it does look nice.
But it also then is very helpful to the premise of the thing, which is you're about to jizz in your pants. So you had to start from a place of very cool and cocksure.
Yeah, who are these characters? This is not them.
Yeah, who are these confident gents?
Let me clarify. These are characters.
These are characters.
They're British, first off. This is not something that happens to Yorm and Andy. All right, split and play. We got 1 second in.
Lock eyes.
Molly Sims.
Molly Sims.
Such a treat to have.
So rad of her to join us.
Molly Sims, perfect casting. Immediately looks like Molly Sims.
Anyone remember how and why? I feel like we knew somebody who knew her, and we went, would she ever do it? And then it was just happened easily, but I don't know who that was.
Yes, turned out she was a full-on goof and was loving hanging out and doing it. It was really great.
A lot of things just came together for this, I would say, this video, in a really nice way.
Could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
The room, down my drink while the rhythms boom. Take your hand and skip the names. No need here for the silly games. Make our way through the smoking crowd. The club is the sky and I'm on your cloud. Move in close as the lasers fly.
Me as the DJ, I got in there.
Also, can I just say that like what I loved about your editing, Keith, was you had watched some video where on the bass hits, you would push in and blur as if the speakers were like rattling the image. And it looks really cool.
Yes. Do you remember what it was?
I think this timeline might not work out, and this might have been a later thing that I went, oh, that's what it's like. But when you're in a car that has heavy ass bass and it's a rickety old car, like when I had the speaker in my trunk of my 88 Nissan Stanza, and you look in the rear view mirror when you bump in the music, it does that.
Yeah.
Because it shakes the whole car. And I believe at the beginning of, who directed the 50 Cent movie, The Get Rich or Die Trying? I think there is one of those really cool lock off, just those cool, like the ones they have on Training Day where they found really neat ways to film a car.
Because then later when you hired me to help you out with a teaser trailer for the movie The Watch, you wanted me to replicate that shot in the rearview mirror.
Exactly. And so I wonder if the timeline is right, or if I saw the Get Rich or Die Trying after this and went, oh, that's like it. That's the thing I was doing.
Yeah.
Or if I saw that and went, what if you did that to a video? Because that is shooting the actual mirror where you see the edges of the mirror. But anyways, that's what that feeling was replicating.
It's a great little thing.
I remember when we were shooting this, it was all on really heavy dolly because we couldn't afford Steadicam, even with it being the bigger thing, and me being worried that the camera work was too still
Yeah.
and locked off. And it was
yeah.
always moving, but I was like, oh my God, there's not going to be energy in the video because we were so used to Lazy Sunday style where I would go handheld and shake it a lot to get video to it,
Yes.
or fast snap zooms, or Steadicam fast stuff would have been what I would thought we would have done. And so when I did get in editing, that's why it's so choppy in the editing, and I'm adding that was out of trying to put energy back in the footage.
Yeah, man.
But you do a lot of it. Right out of the gate, it has crazy energy, and a lot of it is manufactured in edit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm doing little weird white flashes and stuff too, right?
Down my drink while the rhythms boom. Take your hand and
well, maybe
skip the
not.
names. No need here for the silly games. Make our way through the smoking crowd. The club is the sky and I'm on your cloud. Move in close
Do a little
as the
slow-mo
laces fly.
crank.
Our bodies touch and the angels cry. Leave this place, go back to yours. Our lips first touch outside your doors. The whole night, what we've got in store. Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I jizz in my pants. This really never happens, you can take my word.
Yeah.
Won't apologize, that's just absurd. Mainly your fault for the way that you dance, and now I jizz in my pants. Don't tell your friends or I'll say you're a slut. Plus it's your fault you were rubbing my butt. I'm very sensitive, some would say that's a plus. Now I'll go home and change. I need a few things.
All right, that's Andy verse 1.
Great stuff. Really good faces, Andy. Your jizz
Really,
faces are
really good
exceptional.
faces. Molly Sims, fantastic.
She's very funny being super annoyed and bummed.
It's really great how quickly you blame her and then threaten her.
It's my favorite part of the song. Just that these guys are so petty that it's immediately your fault.
It's your fault. And then if you tell anyone, I'll tell them you're a slut.
He's a piece of shit, yeah. A lot of these guys are bad pieces of
These
shit
are bad guys.
Yeah.
Not Yorm and Andy. Characters.
Correct. We're in character. None of this stuff is autobiographical, Yorm.
But it's also the end of the verse being like, and I'll go home and change is great.
Thanks.
Like just you're filling her in on just like the logistics of the rest of your night.
All right. Yorm stepping in. He needs a few things from the grocery.
I need a few things from the grocery. Do things alone now mostly. Left me heartbroken, not looking for love. Surprised in my eyes when I looked up.
Cool DJs even in the supermarket.
And can I just say I really like grocery and mostly.
Yeah, that's a good
rhyme.
one.
Yes.
Yorm's good with the British stuff.
Yeah. Mostly.
Jamie Lynn Sigler is now our next cameo.
Also just wonderful. Was so great.
Big Soprano fans. We were so happy that she said yes.
That's so cool.
How did this one come about? Was it the same thing? You were just like, do you think she'd do it?
I have no clue.
Did Smythe know her? I feel like Rob maybe knew her somehow.
It was definitely a case of people being like, what about them? And we'd be like, yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, maybe through publicists or something.
Yeah.
It was not like, it definitely wasn't just shots in the dark. It was definitely us asking people like, do you know famous actresses who might be down to clown around in a video?
But because this was like us on our own with a record company, and yes, we had done stuff on SNL, I remember thinking like, oh, is it going to be way harder to get people? And remember just being so happy when people said yes. Like, she was so nice too. She was great.
Indeed. All right, in play.
The checkout counter and I saw her face. My heart stood still, so did time and space. Never thought that I could feel real again, but the look in her eyes said I need a friend. She turned to me, that's when she said it. Looked me dead in the face, asked cash or credit, and I jizzed in my pants. It's perfectly normal, nothing wrong with me, but we're going to need a cleanup on aisle 3.
Justin.
What was he doing in town? How did we get Timberlake? I can't remember how that happened either. He was just in town, right?
I can't remember. He was around, but he did us a huge solid.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we didn't think it would happen. The fact that he did it just to put his stamp on it, it's hard to measure how huge it is because...
But did we do that with a dolly? That shot? Because I remember shooting it super fast. But like, is that a dolly or is that steady?
I think we maybe had steady some of the time.
Okay.
Maybe not all. Well, we're just fast forwarding. No, I think we're just dollying and just rolling on a supermarket floor.
It is also great. I mean, he's just playing a guy. He's a janitor. We're basically implying that his job is going to be to clean up Yorm's jizz.
Yeah.
And I just really want to layer in how cool it was that he was a hard yes on this. A lot of people might say, what's the part? And then as you explained it, be like, I don't want to do that.
I definitely always remember being like, when we would do videos like this and me not being on the show or Akiva not being on the show, being like, do people want to be in it with me though? It's not Andy. And like it being a little bit like, oh God, I hope she doesn't quit.
Well, it is an interesting topic because outside of the show, these things were so bona fide once this album came out that it was like, yeah, that sounds dope. That's a cool thing that's happening.
Yeah. No, totally. Kiva was. I do remember that we did do like it was in like a shopping cart that we got that shot. I believe, pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the floors in a grocery store are very smooth, so you can get a tracking shot without fancy equipment.
Let's not bury before we continue. Let's not bury that. What made your jizz was that she said cash or credit.
Cash or credit, and then I do remember that Andy. I think you wrote the line. One more thing, I'm going to pay by check. Which I think is like probably the funniest part of my verse.
To go back to the Justin thing.
Yes.
The reason Keith was being so adamant about it, and we all are, is in this moment, I remember when this video aired, and we were still like, I'm going to see every single thing that got written about us on the internet. I'm going to look at everything, And it was, all the headlines were Justin.
Yes. It gave it a huge bump.
Yes. It got so much more attention where it's just like Justin Timberlake in another one of those videos. And you're just like, oh, wow, he has like 2 shots in it. But that's how red hot he was.
Yeah.
It helped it tremendously.
Yeah. So he came through and hooked us up.
That's what's up. Support for the Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast comes from Airbnb. I was very excited when my brother finally got married. He waited a very long time to do it. So long that I had children. And then I had to bring my children to his wedding. And I didn't want to have my children in a hotel room. And we were really lucky that there was an Airbnb nearby so that I didn't have to have my kids at the hotel where everybody was loud and staying up late. And instead, they got to stay at a wonderful A-frame. And if you don't have kids, let me tell you, they love it when a house is shaped like a letter. It was fantastic. We had a great time. They did not wake us up early because they had their own rooms. And it was just so much better than being in a common space with everybody who was in full revelry for my brother's wedding. Hey, Yorm, were you at that wedding? Oh, no, I wasn't invited. So you know what? Thanks to my brother for finally getting married. And more importantly, thanks to Airbnb.
Wow, this has been watched 176 million times. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I just saw that number. That seems insane.
I was like, whoa, is that right? Pretty good.
There's probably also an SNL post of it that's cannibalizing some of them. All right, I'm hitting play.
One more thing, I'm gonna pay by check. Last week, I saw a film. As I recall, it was a horror film. Walked outside.
That is one of my favorite Lonely Island lines. And I was so happy when I rewatched it earlier today. And I was like, oh, God, I always remember. Because, again, it's not just that.
Saw a film with a horror film.
Yeah.
I saw a film.
And it was, if I recall, it was a horror film. And you're like, oh, if you recall? Because I feel like you knew based on how you said Sora.
Just occurring to him.
By the way, that money that Akiva was talking about, that like 10 grand in cash or however much they had, I think that went to things like us passing by a movie theater and being like, hey, can you put up a horror film? Like, that's real, right?
Yeah.
Is that CG? I don't think it is.
No, it's real. That's an independent theater near NYU that I used to go watch movies at when I was in college. I saw Princess Mononoke there.
There you go. Look at that. Fucking nostalgia.
Yeah. You say sower in your first verse, right?
Oh, is that how they say it in the
when
part
I saw her face?
Yeah, maybe these are just guys who say Sora.
They're from a part of England where that's how they say it.
Yes, like I wrote Sora film, as I recall, as a horror film, but I stole Soar from Yorm from inside the song. I would not have thought of that if he hadn't just done it.
It's so ingrained in me because I spent, 8 months
established
to college.
Yeah.
Lancaster University. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that cool DJ.
Yeah, the DJ makes a nice appearance.
The DJ stuff's great.
Yeah, Deep BG.
He never changes his shirt, so you always know it's the same DJ.
Well, he's a character.
Yeah, DJ Gray shirt.
He doesn't jizz, though. He never jizzes.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't.
Checked my phone and saw you rang and I jizzed.
We even had a little sprinkler head. Like, not proper rain, but enough to get the shot.
Yeah, walked outside into the rain.
And that was a flip phone because flip phones were a thing, I assume.
Is there a chance I still had an actual flip phone? That might have been my phone.
Yeah, I don't think that was like a joke.
I mean, it was a phone of the era.
Yeah.
No, I think we had moved on to Blackberries. Don't you think we had Blackberries by this point?
I think we did.
We did, for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
These guys don't have Blackberries, though.
Yeah. This was the kind of phone we could drop on the ground.
We were Blackberry boys.
Bricks forever.
Speeding down the street when the red lights flash. Need to get away, need to make a dash. A song comes on that reminds me of you and I jizz in my pants. Next day.
So, Yorm, you're really just driving, right?
I'm driving a Mercedes, and I think I may have driven a Mercedes only one other time in my life. And I remember thinking, like, this is pretty cool. Look at this drop-top Mercedes.
Yeah, so they just threw a light that was in the car, on the dash pointing up at your face, and then they're just like, just follow the truck.
Yeah, and then we got the side shot, and yeah, bing bong. We probably did it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Were you so excited about being in a Mercedes and driving it that you almost jizzed, just independent of the...
I remember thinking that I'm such a small man that I might look slightly ridiculous driving a big luxury car. And I think I might, as I look at this shot, like slightly ridiculous, but maybe that's part of the joke.
I think you look cool. I think you're rocking it pretty good, bud.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I got no issue.
Well, here's a question for the group, just on the subject of the song. When you guys jizz, do you think it feels good?
That's on the subject of the song.
I've told you guys my jizz story that we were never going to air on this podcast.
Well, don't tell it again.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I won't. But it's a great story, and it's so sad that no one will ever hear it.
That's fine.
Leave in that part.
Yeah.
Leave in that, like, just that...
He's got a jizz story. He's sad to not get to tell the world.
Release the tape!
He's got one that he can't tell you, but he's told us already. And Andy stopped him from telling us again.
I'm in play.
When I jizz in my pants. Next day, my alarm goes off and I jizz in my
So yeah, it's getting faster.
Yeah.
Good editing, yeah. Fun wiping.
But you know what I love too, though, is there's no VFX in this entire thing. Like, we really went into that building that's in the West Village or somewhere near
That apartment, yes.
That's a cool ass building.
It was like a Flatiron style building, one of those triangular buildings.
Yes.
And this was where we shot the roof as well. Didn't we go up to the roof and do the roof shots there?
And that window's a real window that's in that weird part where the building gets extremely skinny at the end of the apartments that are triangle. Like, that would always be a green screen out of a window and a comp. And it's just real and it's delightful.
So no visual effects. That means practical jizz?
Practical
know
jizz.
it.
Yep.
Thanks for asking.
I also kudos to us on making an actual plan here with this whip pan.
Yep.
Where it goes off Andy to Andy in bed.
Cuts to another later Andy.
I think saying us is generous.
Mm-hmm.
Open my window and a breeze rolls in and I jizz in my pants.
I think that's my best
fan
jizz.
on the fire escape there.
Open my window and a breeze rolls in. That's definitely my best jizz reaction.
Also, I really like, Yorm, just on a costuming note, that you've taken a bow tie off recently. Do you have an untied bow
Yeah,
tie?
he was at an event.
Yeah.
He's got a crazy gray shirt with like a tuxedo kind of vibe.
I'm like a colonial soldier or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like a Sergeant Pepper's undershirt, but if it was like a less bright color.
Yeah.
It's just fun to imagine this guy just like rocked a night where he was just a fashion icon and then just a cool breeze.
We're also in an empty apartment they let us shoot in. No production design happening. There's a bookshelf behind you that is 100% bare.
That guy doesn't have books.
But I'm saying we're just in the right priorities.
Yeah.
Like, of just like, yeah, if anyone's looking at that bookshelf, the video sucks. Don't spend a second or any money on it. This is fine.
Yeah. Also, like, I like to fill in the blanks for his character and just be like, yeah, it's his fuck nest.
That's true. He has a different apartment with his wife and kids. Okay.
Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense.
Same apartment. You can see that little triangle in the back.
Oh, yeah.
No one had to know that, Keeve. This could have been a totally different location.
Right.
I do like that the end of Sixth Sense made you jizz in your pants.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably, outside of the censorship issues, the most controversial part of the song.
Ruining that.
Because it is ruining the movie.
Oh, but don't you feel like the window's closed on that?
You know
Well,
what?
that's what we thought. It had been a long time. But then some
In
people...
that year, I would argue it was closed because anyone that could watch this video would have seen The Sixth Sense.
Yes.
As time goes by, it actually becomes less okay.
Yes.
Because
new generations.
you could have a 20-year-old right now that
Yes,
The Sixth Sense
okay.
is like a classic. That was before they were, not before they were born, but basically.
What's the actual line?
When Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense,
Right.
So it fully gives it away.
So spoilers are a roller coaster, you're saying? Of like, it's fine and then it's not?
I think it's a wonderful point. Yeah, there's an arc. And I think Keeve's right that at some point it becomes not okay.
It's a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to also jump in to say, if you're watching Sixth Sense, you might think, based on what Andy said here, that he dies at the end. You know what I mean?
Well, don't spoil it further.
Oh, yeah, now.
Yeah, like maybe there's someone listening who hasn't had it fully spoiled. But hey, to anyone out there who this line spoiled the movie for you guys, I truly am sorry. I would hate that myself.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That's
Me too.
the most controversial part of this video.
That was where Betsy Torres drew the line. She's like, you can have one or the other. You can either have jizz or you can ruin Sixth Sense.
She's like, spoilers make the FCC so mad. I saw The Sixth Sense in the theater with my family, and we all came out of it just like, whoa!
I love picturing your dad doing that.
Like as a family being like, oh my God, I had no idea. Did you know?
When did you know?
Oh, I have this just jogged my memory. We showed up late to Sixth Sense, and so we missed the first scene.
Oh.
And I remember it was me and my friend Jill Benjamin who we were in Amsterdam, and we just got a little bit late. And it wasn't until the second time I saw Sixth Sense that I realized, ow.
Yeah.
What's the first scene?
The first scene is him, Wahlberg, right? Donnie Wahlberg?
You don't know so many things.
Oh.
You love that scene, Keith. You quote that all the time.
Yeah. I used to.
You don't know so many things. You would say that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then.
And then you hear he says, my brother wants me to say hi to your mother.
Oh, that's it.
And then you hear a gunshot and it cuts to...
all right, I'm hitting play.
Oh, wait. Hey, can we just take a screen grab, though, of when you paused it? What we're all seeing right now is just a fantastic Andy face.
This is maybe one of your best.
Here we go, guys. 40 seconds left.
I just ate a grape and I jizzed in my pants. I went jizzed in my
Seriously, you guys, can we? Okay. I jizz right in my pants every time you're next to me. And when we're holding hands, it's like having sex.
Timberlake helped us so much. I remember people online being like, oh, Timberlake singing with them at the end, because they probably also thought we couldn't have possibly made it
That's
sound
hilarious. I think that's just Andy. I'm not even sure I'm singing it.
You're not.
It's just Andy. Yeah. But they just didn't think we had the know-how to make it sound as good, which is right in a way, because he's the one that taught us.
You say I'm premature, I just go in ecstasy. I wear a rubber at all times.
Playing those bongos.
I jizz in my pants. Yes, I jizz in my pants.
Just some good editing.
I like that little solar flare at the end there. Cute.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's lovely.
Bookended.
We did a great job. I had not seen that in a long time, and I have no notes.
No notes.
That's really great.
Good job to us.
I like that when Yorm is having a grape, he seems to be in a wine shop. He's not eating the grape at a grocery store.
Well, I'm just in that same grocery store.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You guys wanted to hear the clean one. Listen.
Just touch outside your doors the whole night what we've got in store. Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I in my pants.
It's pretty good.
They were always surprising.
I mean, Jizz in My Pants makes me laugh on premise. That made me laugh on just tickling my ear.
All right. So that was it.
Bravo.
And now, Yorm, you keep track of numbers. Is that song platinum or something? How'd that do?
It should be platinum by this point. I think we only have a gold record on that, but I believe it is platinum.
No, we have a platinum record on that.
We do.
And is that on that song or that album?
Song.
I don't think the album ever went gold, but the song Jizz in My Pants, I believe.
It's never
went.
too late, though. Just leave it on stream all day long, fellow Quades.
Yeah, Quaid Army. Let's make this happen.
Just stream it all day long and mute it. You don't even have to listen to it.
I will say, having the plaques is so funny. It makes the song so funny because it is so incongruous to be like, oh, what? Why? Jizz in my pants? So,
every part of anything we've ever done as Lonely Island being successful is inherently funny.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Because it's not, you're not like funny platinum. You're platinum, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, but that is funny.
Yeah, that's way funnier than if they gave you like a goofy, like platinum fucking rubber chicken or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Platinum rubber chicken.
Yeah, that is what they would give at the Comedy Awards.
They should have. That's what it should be.
That's the thing. Comedians, you're like, what would be funny to give them? The fucking realest shit is the funniest.
Sure.
I just said Sex is platinum, Like a Boss is gold, Jizz in My Pants is platinum, I'm gonna vote double platinum, and then can anybody guess what the last one is? It's platinum.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, Andy got it right away. Everything is awesome. The Tegan and Sarah.
And then I remember Handlebar and Lobster Claw is a copper piece of shit.
It's a participation trophy made out of clay.
And when you pick it up, your finger, it's soft claay.
It's
so
not cooked.
To even pick it up shows that you put your hands on it.
Yeah, it's like soft Play-Doh.
and then they like come in. They come in and they say like, "You touched it," and you're like, "No, I didn't." And they're like, "Your fucking fingerprints."
Your fingerprints fucking on it. Watch. And then they take your fingerprint off it and they use it to open up all of your computers and stuff.
And you're like, "Get out of my house!" And they're like, "No, you touched it."
Like, we told you not to touch it. This was the curse of the gargoyle, you piece of shit.
Wait, Virgania Horsen, who came up with that name?
I think that was all
I think it was me. Yeah, the first one was mostly me, and then everyone helped me. And then this one, I think Did Jost come up with Pony Express and then kind of do it with us, Yorm?
That's a real best of Jost to come in and be like, hey, remember that thing you did about balloon rides? I was thinking you could do Pony Express next.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have occurred to us.
I remember loving this one. And this was the one, Keith, where you got the props email.
Yes.
about your job being great.
With the horse and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jost wrote the stamps thing.
Yeah.
If you want to ride on the horse with me, that's fine too. There's plenty of room.
Hello, ma'am. Would you be able to deliver these letters to my mother for me?
No problem, right away.
Also, would it be okay if I rode on that horse with you?
That'd be just fine.
Oh, I gotta say, I thought breaking down Jizz In My Pants was gonna be fun, but I think that I love this way more. Like, I loved watching every frame of that. It was joyful.
It's really good. I mean, put in a long list of Kristen Wiig's tour de forces. She's a delight. The way she walks.
Well, it's so like Akiva. It's like Just Two Guys character level of awkwardness.
I was going to say, there's a whole genre here at play, and it works for me every time, which is Just Two Guys, this, Steve Brule. Honestly, Kyle's album and a lot of things Kyle does.
Just couldn't be more awkward and great.
Yeah, just excruciating, like almost like a little kid pretending to be doing something.
But kind of lovable. Like, you're like, I love her. She's hilarious. Like,
Love her.
More than kinda. All of them.
I like that her hair is just a mess.
Yeah.
Like, there's a nice braid, but the rest of it's just a disaster. She just seems like... And then the weird thing is twice she plays male characters who ask her to mail something for them.
And find her very attractive.
So then they flirt. So she's flirting with a male, and then she seems super into it. That also takes a lot of unpacking.
There's always that moment where she's like, you could come with me if you want. There's lots of room. And then she's showing people being like, I'll come along with you. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, that sounds good. She's really leaving a door open for maybe some contact.
Her walking past the mail trucks, though. Yeah, right. That terrorist can stop that.
Yeah.
Wait, can I just ask a question? We edited a lot together, and occasionally we would do it in different rooms and then join sessions. This feels like a ton of my style of animation, but you may have done some of it.
I think we were just dividing it and doing it.
Yeah.
But you definitely did a bunch of
the hitting the mail into the mail.
Yeah, letters flying and throwing and all the stupid stuff. The horse going like doop, 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 left and right to make it seem like it's moving.
Whoa.
Everybody needs to... You just stop what you're doing, watch Virginia Horsen's Pony Express, because it is very fun.
I wonder if it went to dress an earlier week and got held, or if... because we had filmed Jizz the week before, we actually had time to shoot a short this week. But we were editing Jizz, I think, the week Jizz aired.
I love the shorthand is just Jizz. I think we shot Jizz that week.
I shot Jizz all over the place.
Come on.
All right. You're right.
I do feel like 40 years from now, Keeve is like barking over like a big desk in a studio, being like, we did Jizz that week. And I still had time for Virginia Horsen. And you're telling me you can't make your days?
You're saying that's when I take over.
Yeah, when you take over SNL.
It's me. I'm taking over the show.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody tell these kids I did Jizz and Horsen in the same week.
I'm just yelling that from his desk on 17.
Yeah. And then you're reminding everybody, like, you know who the DJ was in Jizz?
It was a character I played.
It wasn't me. It was a character.
What was that guy's name?
Gray Shirt DJ.
Gray Shirt DJ. Fuck. That's my favorite character of yours, Gray Shirt DJ.
We're going to have this same problem again, which we're just going to have to pick up next week because I know we're running short on time.
This is a full ep. This is a chock full ep.
It's a full ep, but we're going to have to do some cleanup because there's a lot to talk about the Malkovich episode. It is for me.
Yeah, let's pick it up.
Hey, so remember earlier when I was like, does it feel good for you guys when you do a Jizz? Like, it doesn't hurt, right?
I got to roll, guys. I love you.
So that's a no? Doesn't hurt?
I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you. The Jack Black did not host since Lazy Sunday App, so.
Wow.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot to live up to. Big app.
Big app.
Big app.
Spelling bee. Bring back spelling bee.
Bring back the bee.
You heard it here first. All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.